thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Hi, all you cool cats and kittens. Tanner and Tommy are here from Big Cat Rescue for episode 209 of the Massenomics podcast.
Wow, that is an entrance I can get behind right there.
Hopefully, in about a week from now when this comes out, people are still talking about Tiger King.
I think relevant. So. It's going to be past its the hype will be died down, but it's still, the memes are still going really strong this week.
Yeah, it'll be on the probably the bottom slide of the
trend,
the bell curve, but it'll still be in the meat of its popularity, but it's just on the downturn of it.
As it should be. It's a once in a generation documentary, right?
Yeah, that's true. But this is episode 209 of the Massenomics podcast, the lifting podcast about nothing and about big cats. So our sponsors for this episode. Are you ready for the sponsors, everyone? I hope so. Today's episode is brought. Okay, they are. Okay, good. Today's episode is brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. When you go to Hybrid's site, make sure to use our discount code. That's MASS in all caps, and that'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Make sure to visit hybridperformancemethod.com. The show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bars possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and it was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, Massenomics, national, international, and world powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about the Texas Power Bar and to buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com. Today's episode is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is the home of the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Those are our sponsors. Thank you, sponsors.
Great group of sponsors.
That's the dream team of sponsors, as we always say, the fearsome foursome.
So we hinted at it last week, Tanner. All right, I had mentioned that Tiger King is something that I think it'd be worth your while to check out.
Yes,
you've checked it out since then. Sounds like the rest of the world has also checked it out in the past week.
I think it was because of the recommendation and the Massenomics podcast.
Yeah, I was going to say, for some reason, I think everyone listens to us. That has to be what it is. It also might have something to do with everyone being stuck at home. That one's harder to prove, but everyone seemed to have watched it. What'd you think, Tanner?
I still haven't finished it yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Oh, okay.
I still have been kind of busy, so we're actually might finish. I think I have. How many episodes are there? Or
6
parts?
I think, or 7?
Yeah,
6 or 7.
I think we've got one left here, maybe,
okay.
So I know basically no majority what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any spoiler alert. Actually, not really. I don't think there's anything groundbreaking that happens the last episode. Like,
right.
It wasn't like, oh, this whole thing was a twist. He's not a real guy. Like, that's not how it goes.
Yeah, it really has taken the country by storm, though. I think the last series coming out that this reminds me of this is maybe like Making a Murderer.
I think so. I don't remember the last. Yeah, I don't remember the last time people were that jacked about something.
Game of Thrones is
but that one's a little different.
And that's also still right.
Like if if Joe Exotic and Tiger King had, almost 10 years to build up hype, it's like, well, yeah, okay, I get it. But to just be a random week in March is the time that
Making a Murderer is the only one that compares to that in a little bit of what I can remember or at least of what affected me and what I paid attention to.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's kind of funny. The Tiger King almost makes me think. So the movie Joe Dirt, one of my all-time favorites. Oh, yeah. It's surprisingly similar to Joe Dirt to me in the way that it's just like this weird redneck guy with a mullet that's he's like telling his story, and just everyone's listening like, no, that's not how that goes. and it just keeps going and going and going, and that's the life he lives. So it's kind of, to me, a real life Joe Dirt.
I guess we won't give away too many spoilers because there are probably people that are just in the process of watching it, but who's kind of your favorite who's your favorite person if you had to pick one person of one character on?
Well, Joe Exotic is a fascinating character. I don't think he's necessarily a good guy, and I hope most people come away with this realizing that he's not a very good guy. He did have a lot of good intentions at times, but I think
I don't know if anyone on the show is actually.
No, I don't. That is a good point. I don't know if anyone on the show is actually a good person. You can say that they're all trying to do what they think is right, but that is the whole thing. Is that everyone has just built their own corner of the world where they're the ruler and the king of their kingdom, and. Yeah, I guess they're all doing
take it to extremes.
Yeah, they're all doing some things that are okay and some things that are bad. It's on such an extreme scale, all of it. So they're all very conflicted people. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah,
but yeah, Joe is probably the most fascinating person out of all of them. As far as like, if I could put a camera on someone and just really be like, what's making these people tick? What are they doing? Joe's the one I want to watch the most.
Yeah. Who do you think could lift the most out of anyone on the show?
Ooh, probably Joe's late husband, Mr. Maldonado. He was.
That's what I would say. Travis, right?
Yeah, he was the most fit out of everyone there, I think.
Was he actually like? He was the leanest, right?
He was the leanest. Well, and he had all of his body parts, and he was young, so he had those things going for him.
What about Doc?
That guy's a very weird culty kind of guy.
Yeah, the guy that I don't like him, but that just makes me laugh every time he comes on is Jeff. The guy that he looks like he robbed.
With his Oakley hat and bandana, and he's
Affliction
like
shirts
60 years old.
His weird little goatee.
Yeah.
He just makes me laugh by what he's wearing all the time. It's like, what? You're just wearing that working at a zoo?
Oh,
you're wearing that Harley jacket,
and it looks like you had like a middle schooler like take you into a clothing store and be like, try to make this old guy look cool.
Anything.
Pick out anything, but try to make an old guy look cool. And they'd be like, this maybe, like, and put an Oakley hat on too. I think that'll help. And that's where he landed.
Yeah, I saw a good meme of him, and it's picture him at the funeral or whatever, and it says when you're going to a funeral, so you wear your black Ferrari hat.
Yes, God. Yep, they're all people that have something off with them.
Very
more than most people do. We'll say that everyone has something off with them. But
I went into it. I thought it was going to be a documentary about Tiger Woods. Boy, was I in for a surprise.
By episode 5, Tiger Woods still hadn't shown up
yet. I was
like,
when does Tiger Woods come on?
Yeah. Yep, I think that's the problem a lot of people are having with it. Just waiting for that Tiger Woods appearance.
I have heard some other people are speeding up their releases of some docs that are coming out.
Yeah, is it a Michael Jordan? Have you seen anything? Is it the Michael Jordan one, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like Michael Jordan or Bulls or basketball in the 90s.
It's really Michael. I think it's kind of Michael Jordan. It's really the Michael Jordan doc, and I'm excited. I think that one's coming out in April now.
And that's by the 30 for 30 people, isn't it?
I think it's bigger than than 30 for 30 even. I see 30 for 30
in some way.
Yeah. 30 for 30s are all done by different people. It's always different directors and everything like that. But yeah, I think this is even like a bigger production than a typical 30 for 30 from what I've gathered.
I just saw right before we recorded this, I saw on TV it said they were moving it up to April, isn't it? Isn't it coming out in a week or two?
Yeah. Yes.
When it was originally slated for like this summer, I think.
Yeah, smart choice on their behalf, I would imagine.
So people are moving stuff like that up, but then movies are all getting pushed way out. Like I think
that makes sense.
I think the new Fast and the Furious, they're just pushing it out until like next March now or next April. Like it's going almost. They push it out almost a year.
That doesn't seem very fast or furious of them.
It might be furious. It's definitely not fast. So more things. They're stopping the Fast and Furious now.
Shows it really does just depend on the medium, the media,
the release
medium of what's actually like, because TV or streaming is big right now because people are stuck at home, but movies, people aren't going to go out, and podcasts, through our research, we found that maybe they're not hugely changed, but maybe down a little bit because people aren't
commuting,
making their commute,
like sitting at a desk. I've even noticed at my house, my wife isn't working at the moment, and with that, her being home, time that I would normally be listening to podcasts around the house when I'm here alone, I find myself, I'm listening to less podcasts too. And I don't think that I'm alone in that situation where just people's normal lives have changed. And so their listening habits have changed.
Yeah. Cause podcasts are really something that people do in their normal routine, in their
just fill those
time
gaps
when they're by themselves. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And that's just, in one way or another, that's changed for a lot of people right now.
Yep.
But we did get some messages from some listeners, a few different ones that were really appreciative and happy that we are still rolling right now.
We're dedicated to the cause.
Yep, because it gives them something to listen to still.
That we will never, ever stop.
We at least made it. We're on the backside of 4 years now, so.
Yeah. Yep. Only 208 more to go.
Yeah, I'd be 37 if we go.
I don't like it. I don't like it when you put it that way, Tanner. Those are numbers I don't like.
That's true.
We have since we're all in this for the long haul at this point. The world isn't going to be changing in a week or 2 weeks from now, and who knows, maybe a month or two or more. We decided to take the plunge, and we are attacking The Sopranos now.
Oh,
so we're
good
going.
Choice,
we're going. Have you watched it all?
No, I have not watched it all. I've started to watch it. It's just I haven't been watching that much lately here, so I'm kind of on a pause, but I'm on like the second season wherever I'm at. But,
we got through the first season in about a week. It is surprising, back then they would do like 13 episodes in a season, which is really weird. It's like that's breaking the rules. That's not how that works now. You do 10. Yeah. 10 is always the number.
10. Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much story you have. You do 10.
Yeah.
So that'll at least in these times keep us busy for a few weeks, I guess.
Yes, that will for sure. I like to judge series or film series by their intro and how well I like the song and the intro. And I really like the Soprano intro. I enjoy watching the panning of the city while he's driving.
Kind of old rundown houses in New York for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. We that was one, talking about intros, that was one you really started to do the math this year or last year at this time. We were going through Game of Thrones, and you start thinking, okay, the intro's almost 2 minutes long, 60 some episodes. Yeah. Like, God, that'd be 2 hours of watching the intro. And that's when we just started fast forwarding through it every time. It's like, I can't devote 2 hours of my life to sitting through this intro.
But the Game of Thrones intro was different, though, depending too on where the episode was like based out of. Like
especially towards the end, it started to change quite a bit. But we still watch probably more of the intros than we should have. But already on The Sopranos, I'm like, okay, we got to get to it. We got a lot of work to do here, so we just skip past that intro.
Yep.
Do we? Is there? I mean, this is kind of the recurring thing now. Is there things to talk about in the lifting world, Tanner?
We found a couple. We're having to dig a little bit deeper all the time, I think, to find stuff.
Our unnamed sources are having to just work even harder for us to get us something to work with.
So one of the things that I wrote a few things down, but should we jump into our big lift segment then? How about that?
I think we should. Yeah.
Okay. So big lift segment, probably the biggest lift that I've seen in quite a while that has appeared in the Big Lift segment is Daniel Bell squatted 1,003 pounds for a set of 4. Do I have that weight right? Is it 1,003?
According to my notes, that is correct.
Okay. And he did that for a set of 4 reps, which is funny because just on last week's
That's
podcast,
what I was going to say.
we were talking about Chris Duffin doing 1,000 for a set of 3, and we said, who have we ever seen do 1,000 for more than a single before? And we said Kurt Kowalski in his famous video from the 90s, and then Dan Bell from the Animal Cage the year that we interviewed him on the podcast. And then not more than like a couple days after that, Dan posts a video, which I don't think it was like the day that he did it, because he is talking about how his gym's closed and he's not going there anymore. So this was a little bit of a, I don't know if he did. Yeah, maybe he did it a few weeks ago or something, but he did 1,003 for a set of 4, which that has to be the most reps that anyone's ever done with over 1,000 pounds. I think that that's pretty much a fact.
That would be a really hard one to find someone that's done more.
No, I mean, then at that point you'd have to be at 5 reps to have done more. So a set of 5 with over 1,000 pounds.
Or they did 1,004 for a set of 4.
Yeah, there you go.
It.
Yes,
they chipped it in the future, knowing that was what it was going to be.
Yes. And why is it 1,003? Was that on calibrated plates?
I don't know how that breaks down. What is? Let's see if we do. I get the old calculator here. 1,003. I could be doing something wrong, but I don't think it really works out.
Doesn't make a kilo.
I did 1,003 divided by 2.2, and that doesn't seem to work out to an even kilo. It comes to almost 456 kilos, but that's I don't know. Maybe that makes sense to load to the bar. I don't know.
But anyways, that's huge. And Dan did comment on there that Dan's a regular listener of the Massenomics podcast, and on that video I commented something, and he made the comment how he was just listening to our last episode where we were talking about him squatting 1,000 for a double, or $1,000 for a double.
So it was destiny. It was meant to be.
Yep. But that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's super crazy.
And the way he does it, like, none of them, I'm sure if you asked him, it felt a lot different, but they
probably don't feel good.
No, it probably feels terrible, but it really doesn't look like, that's not like what I think about when I see someone doing 1,000-pound squat. It looked like he was just doing, that could have been 600. If you told me it was 600 pounds the way it looked, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's probably 600 pounds for a set of 4.
Yeah.
For 700, or,
Yeah. But you were talking about like the, one of the best squatters of all time. So I guess that's, when you're built for it, it's just another day in the life.
I guess that's what makes him good.
That's all it takes. Just squatting 1,003 for 4. So Dan Bell, friend of the podcast, keeping the dream alive.
And he kind of one up Chris Duffin then. Also.
He did. Yeah. He didn't let him have that for very long, did he?
Yeah, right. And people were jumping on, like, I saw a bunch of people tagging Chris and stuff, that because Chris had said he was kind of the first or the only person to do something, but Chris wasn't saying he's the only person to squat 1,000 for reps. His deal was squatting and deadlifting both 1,000 for reps, and I think he probably still is the first and the only person to have done that.
I don't think that's changed in the week since we chatted, so I'm assuming he still has that record to his name.
Yes. Yeah, someone else just bopped out of the woodwork and was like, oh yeah, I can do that too.
Yeah, that episode we recorded last week aged terribly. And then the other big thing coming up is Thor has a deadlift planned, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's a special event. I guess it's not a meet. It's not a competition. It's just him. It's literally just him going for the 501 kilogram deadlift, right? And it's he's working with or partnered with World Ultimate Strongman, who he was gonna do that event with him in Dubai, where he goes for that is what had planned. That got canceled, obviously, along with everything that got canceled. And it's in May. What is it? May, the beginning of May that he's going to do that?
May 2nd, it says here.
And it's in Iceland, and there's going to be a live stream, and the live stream is going to be free. He's going to do it to the same standard that Eddie Hall broke the 500 kilogram deadlift record with. So that'll be with a suit, with straps, and with calibrated plates, and on a traditional deadlift bar, not an elephant bar or some other wacky bar. It'll be on a deadlift bar with calibrated plates.
So in theory, this should be as close as you can get to an apples-to-apples comparison.
Right. Which is great because that's kind of the annoying thing about all these records and stuff in strongman is like, well, yeah, but they did it on this and his was on that and it's not the same. And especially like Eddie Hall fans are insane.
Are Eddie Hall fans. No doubt about that.
And just an aside on that, like whenever we've put things out on the Massenomics Instagram page, like say the Mount Rushmore of strongman is a good example, which I'm not dogmatic about the people that are on there, but so
and just so people know, we had Kaz, Brian Shaw,
Zadrunas Savickas, and
Pujanowski.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So those are the 4 on there, which I think that maybe not everyone will say. A lot of people would agree on that 4, honestly. A lot of people would agree on that 4.
Very few people would be like, no, those are bad choices.
No, nobody would say. Nobody that knows a damn thing would say that.
And a lot of people would be like, you could make an argument for another person or two.
Yes,
but when you're trying to distill anything down to the 4 best, there's always going to be a little room for interpretation.
Because like the other Iceland guys, you'd have John Paul and then Magnus. You know, those would be the other 2 guys that won. You know, several times like that, and people bring those guys up, and I definitely you could probably trade those guys in. Trade a couple of those guys out, but I'm always like, I'm not surprised. Surprised isn't the right word at this point, but the number of people that say Eddie Hall should be on there, that I'm like, Eddie Hall? Like, that is unless now that I think about it, the only way I see you making that case for it is by if you're saying like what he did for strongman. But if you just look at his,
I could understand that argument.
Right. Like, but now that I think about
top performers,
he won once.
Yep.
He won once. I don't think he never won the Arnold. You know, he won World's Strongest Man one time. And then even more importantly to all these fans, he broke that deadlift record and had a documentary about him. And that's like, and he's just more famous and more popular.
And we are saying this as Eddie Hall fans. Like, we love Eddie Hall. He's great.
Oh,
he's a character. Yes. He's entertaining. He is more of what should, in a perfect world, exist in strongman. Interesting people to profile and watch and learn about and see compete.
And it's why he's become famous. Like it's all worked to his favor for sure.
Yeah, and I would totally buy the argument that he's done more for notoriety around the sport of strongman than almost any other strongman.
Yes. But I think most people aren't using that as their rationale behind why he should be on the Mount Rushmore of strongmen. If they're making that suggestion, there's just like don't know. I think a lot of people, it's people that are not even that aware of strongman. They just know who Eddie Hall is and say, Eddie Hall, you know.
It's the same people that love Paul Anderson and
right.
There's a lot of, oddly enough, Paul Anderson fans out there. That's maybe the weirdest one to me, but they're out there and they love him.
But back to the the actual deadlift, what Thor's going to go for, that 501 kilogram, which would break Eddie's record. I do still think, though, Eddie has said it too, and I've heard, multiple people use this reference before. Another thing is everyone remembers the name of the first man that walked on the moon.
Yep.
And like, I do think that 500 kilogram barrier is like such a significant number that 501, Thor does now have the record, but Eddie being the first to break the 500 kilogram still is, that's just significant forever, no matter what happens from that point,
Yeah. Well, and there's a lot of things there. It's kind of, looking at comparisons. Is it is it cooler to be the first guy to break the 4-minute mile or to be the second, third, fourth, and to just do it slightly faster? It's like, well, those ones aren't quite as cool. And also the same thing with Julius Maddox going for the bench record. You know, it's like, okay, what does he have right now? 765 or something?
770 he did this last time,
and so even there, he's competing against himself. But okay, if he does 775, is that much cooler? 780, is that much cooler? Yeah, it's cool. But you know what's really cool is 800.
Yeah.
And then if he does get 800, is 802 really, really cool?
No.
Well, not
really.
really.
Once he gets 800, it's almost like that's, I mean, not to say you shouldn't try to do more, but like, I don't know there's nothing like significantly cooler after 800 that's going to be possible. You know, he's not going to bench 900 pounds.
The record is actually just broken at that point. It doesn't make any more sense anymore, you know?
No. And that's so true in the case of that bench record. I just do not think that anyone will ever like, there is no way. But I remember thinking in the case of Kirill Serchev, when he had the record for the number of years he did, it's like, gosh, no one, like, who is going to bench more than that? You weren't seeing people.
That is the only thing that this tells you is that, you know, with Eric Spoto and Kirill, like, there's always, you just think, all right, they've pushed this limit too far. And now we're looking at possibly 800 happening in a year or so.
What do you think is more likely to see successfully happen in 2020? Hafthor, Bjornsson, deadlift 501 kilograms, or Julius Maddox bench 800 pounds?
Wow, that is a very good question. I think I kind of lean towards Thor just because I do believe he's capable of it.
Yeah, and there's a date set in stone now.
And there's a date set in stone. Yes, we know for sure he's going to make a run at it. I don't know. Who knows how long this virus thing will go? And I don't know what his training situation is like right now. If he's in, I don't follow his training super closely, but I don't know if this has thrown that off. And so that's I think the Thor one has a fairly good likelihood of happening. Yeah, I'm going to go with that one. I think that one's slightly more likely.
And then which one would impress you more?
If an 800-pound bench happened, I would be more impressed by that.
And I think
most people would.
I mean, the 800-pound bench, what the 500-kilogram deadlift was for lifting, like, I think the 800-pound bench is more sensational, like more wild, and like it is like, and it's funny to say because a 500-kilogram deadlift is obviously insane, and before Eddie did it, the record wasn't even close to that. He did go out and shatter the record, not unsimilar to what Julius Maddox is doing with the bench press, but an 800-pound bench, maybe it is like a heat of the moment thing, but that just seems way crazier to me now than a 500-kilogram deadlift.
To me, it does. Yes, I agree. And it is because it just is so out there as far as a number goes.
Yeah.
A lot of people chase that multiply their entire life and will never get to it.
Right. Yeah. He kind of like ruins the ruins the measuring sticks of everyone else like forever, where it's like
does. Yeah, and you can't even make the excuses of a crazy arch or no range of motion because it's about as big of a range of motion as you can get for someone like that.
Yeah.
It's
funny you consider for just, your typical person lifting a 400-pound bench press is, that's a mark, or, that's a threshold where everyone's like, oh, that guy's pretty strong. He's literally twice as strong as, like, can do twice as much as someone you consider to be pretty good at bench pressing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's just an entirely different conversation.
Yeah. Yeah. But so the Thor deadlift competition is on May 2nd, and they're just doing that, because of the social distancing. I don't think there's really I don't think it's an event for people to go to even. I'm sure he's going to have his group, those guys in the blue shirts will be there, but what are those those blue jerseys that they always wear?
Thor's what's it say?
Thor's Power Gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be there.
Yeah,
And
it
his
is
dad.
turning into a bit of an iconic look for him. You know, you just know to look out. You just know to look out for that, and that's who it is. Should we read some ads, Tanner?
All right, let's do it.
The thing is, how many ads should we read? Should we read all of them like we normally do?
Well, if we want to keep these guys paying us, I suppose that's in our best interest.
Okay. Yeah, we probably should. All right. Today's episode of the Massenomics podcast is brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Strongman Harness. The Spud Inc. Strongman Harness is built from the toughest materials available to pull the heaviest cars, trucks, and planes. Remember, picks or it didn't happen. With a lower pulling angle than most harnesses, the Strongman Harness gives athletes better leverage and easier breathing. And with a crossed braced point on the backside, the harness stays exactly where you put it, which means no slipping ever. The Strongman Harness is built to fit athletes of all sizes, from the novice strongman just starting out to the next world's strongest man contender. Check out Spud Inc. and the Strongman Harness online at spud-inc-straps.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large sets the new standard for customer service within the strength world. Get email responses in hours, not days. They now have live website chat support available during the weekdays, so you can get advice from a real powerlifter with actual platform experience. The Lifting Large team wants to help you achieve new PRs in the gym and on the competition stage. When you're ready to try single ply and make your way to the dark side, give them a call. Lifting Large is home of the ground lock deadlift slipper, and it's always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 to save 20% on all Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge.com. And today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At that time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe and began addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, Massenomics, international, and world powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com. And this episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, that's M-A-S-S, in all caps, for 5% off memberships to all programs for the life of your membership. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thanks, sponsors. I thought of like 4 things while you were reading.
Whoa, geez, this just turned into a 3-hour episode, I guess now.
All little interesting little
nuggets of joy,
little tidbits.
Do you got them locked into your brain so we're not going to forget these?
I was just thinking, God, I wish I had a pencil or a pen right now so I could write these down, because I guarantee. So they're supposed to be 4. Let's see how many I can remember as
4.
As
4 is the magic number.
Okay. Dots. We talked about it last week.
Yes, we did.
A few people messaged us with information on dots.
Ooh.
Because we kind of said we couldn't really find anything. Haven't looked at any of it, but apparently information exists on it.
Okay.
Maybe the guy is German. I think I caught that from someone, that the guy that actually came up with it is from Germany, but his last name wasn't Dots.
All right. Well, I will still hold my opinion that information is not exactly easy to come by.
Yeah,
if you know
I
where
would
it's at,
say
it might be
that's
easy to
for
come
sure.
by. But a Google search doesn't seem to be making it easy to come by. So someone needs to be
Right.
someone needs to be the official publisher on this and make sure it gets out there.
Yes, I think that's for sure at least the case is that it is not easily found. So that was one thing. The second thing, as we're recording today, this is we're the last day of March right here. It's the March 31st. That thing that people are all sharing on Instagram that it's like put your best lip. Everyone's sharing it in their stories today, where it's like
it was a thing that Mark Bell started, I believe.
okay,
right?
yes, right, yeah. I think that's
it was like the strong slide or something where you would put it was an Instagram post going around. If people aren't familiar with what we're talking about, it was an Instagram post you'd put in your story, and it was like one of those templates where it had blanks in it, so it said best squat, best deadlift, best bench, favorite Instagram account, our favorite Instagram meme account, favorite
podcast.
lifting podcast. There was maybe one or two other things, but we were getting tagged a decent amount in that, which I like to see.
did. We got tagged in that a lot, and it's funny that I don't know that there's many other pages, accounts, podcasts that get tagged as much in dual categories as we do, because
that's
it's
what
like
I was going to say is.
It was a 50-50 split almost of us getting tagged as either someone's favorite podcast or someone's favorite lifting meme account. And on some, they gave us both. But it's just funny that, like, I think it, depending on what way people absorb our content, not everyone's a podcast listener. Everyone listening to us say this is a podcast listener, obviously, but a lot of people are just Instagram followers and that sort of thing. So it's just funny to see that which people were choosing, and I was kind of keeping a rough tally, and it seemed like it was about 50-50 between whether we were someone's favorite podcast or favorite lifting meme account.
Yeah. I was just impressed that anyone would want to put us in either one of those. Yes. So that was super cool to see.
That was. So that was number 2.
That was number 2. We're halfway through, Tanner.
Yeah. Number 3 was just, I was going to note, we never even really mentioned it. I don't think that we are recording remotely again. So if someone's listening.
We are, yeah.
Because the audio from last week did turn out really good, I think, right? Because I don't think you would have known had we not. If
as
you're just
far as I was
audio.
concerned, it was almost seamless. And really it was seamless. Just we know that we weren't recording in the same spot. So yeah, this is week number 2 of recording remotely.
Yes.
And hopefully by this point it is just seamless. We're just pros now.
I think we are.
Yeah. I mean, we've been doing this for 208 episodes. If that doesn't make you a pro, I don't know what does.
Well, and we get paid to do that, so I think that's what actually makes you a pro.
That is the ultimate definition of a pro, is getting paid to do what you do.
That's why it's always funny, like people that are professional powerlifters, or it's like, are you though, or like, is someone paying you? Is someone really paying you? Some people that is the case, but
I think very few people are actually getting paid.
Yeah, right. There's people making money.
Or getting compensated in some way, but actually getting paid. There's just, we've talked about this enough times. There's just very little money around in that way.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation.
That's true. And I forgot number 4.
Oh, God.
And
I was really excited for number 4.
It'll haunt my dreams. That's why I wish I would have had a pen or a pencil. Next episode, I'm going to have a pen or a pencil. So these things come, I could. But 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
That's passing.
That's batting 750 in baseball. That's pretty good.
That's an above average baseball player for sure.
That's true. That's some Barry Bonds numbers. I don't know baseball.
I think that's right. Yeah, I don't know enough to dispute that. So
or current relevant baseball players. So I have to name people from 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was going to get really into baseball this season, and then they canceled it. So I guess I'll just have to wait to next year to be a super fan.
Do you know who's the most famous? Who's the top 3 most famous baseball players today?
Like actually playing?
Yeah. I know 2. I know 2 that I'm not sure if this is right, but I was going to see if there's 2 names that come to my mind, and I'm curious if you know better than I.
I was gonna say Bryce Harper. That was the first one.
So that's one of the 2 I have in my head.
Outside of that, I don't know who I would say is like, they're the
The other one that I think I know of is Mike Trout.
Yeah,
I think
I would agree with that in my very limited baseball knowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the third one would be.
I don't know. Probably a pitcher, I guess. I don't like.
Yeah, there's probably some pitcher, but I don't know enough to make a distinction of why one pitcher is more famous or has more star power than another.
Or who's just not a pitcher, just another non-pitching player. Name a third famous baseball player even.
Well, I could name players on the Twins, but they're not really famous baseball players. So
I don't think anyone on the Twins actually counts as famous baseball players.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't name. I just don't watch baseball at all.
I can't really think of a third Major League Baseball player.
You know, A-Rod doesn't play anymore, so the game just...
Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. David Ortiz retired.
Yep, the game, it's all washed up. Nothing left.
It's damn instant replay that ruined the game. I didn't even know if there's instant replay.
Supposedly cheaters ruined the game too. If you're
steroids ruined the game. That's what ruined the game.
Steroids, yeah. Just everything ruined the game.
Yeah. Because we see how much better the game's doing now that they apparently got rid of steroids. We can't even name 3 players.
Yeah, exactly. Tanner, we're about 40 minutes in. What do we want to do? We got games to play. We got.
Yeah. Do we go to overrated, underrated, or what are you thinking?
I could mess with that.
Okay. There's some good topics, so maybe this will keep us entertained for a while here. And right now I'm going to also see if I can remember all 4 topics off the top of my head.
Ooh.
If not, I'll have to go
Really pushing the brain power tonight.
Yeah, I do have my cheat sheet just in case we need to look, but something we've talked about already this episode, overrated or underrated. We've talked about it at length the last couple episodes, but we haven't put it in this context yet of overrated, underrated. Overrated or underrated, Tiger King.
Tiger King. This is a great topic for overrated, underrated, because it's something that's super hyped, and super hyped things are prime candidates for this segment.
Yep.
So when it comes to overrated or underrated, I will admit I'm a fan of Tiger King. I found the documentary very entertaining. But now answering this question, is it overrated or underrated? I actually do think it might be a little overrated. I don't know if it made much of a statement about. It was like just purely just, all right, we're just dropping into the middle of these people's lives. And I don't know if it made to me, it seems like documentaries kind of should be trying to do something. Like if you're just in the people's lives, I guess that's just reality TV. You know, that's what reality TV, like reality TV is not trying to really make a statement. It's just like, all right, we're following these people around and see what they do. And as far as a documentary goes, it felt like they didn't really tell me if I should be like, okay, yep, these people are doing bad things, or the documentarians, like they didn't really even point you in the direction of that you thought maybe someone was doing something right or wrong here.
Right.
So yeah, I think as a documentary, it's actually a little overrated. Highly entertaining. I will agree with that all day. It's super entertaining. But as far as did I learn or take away anything from it, what I took away out of it was a pretty surface level thing of like, oh, there's just a lot of crazy people out there that are obsessed with exotic animals and probably shouldn't have them. I don't know if that opened my eyes up to the bigger picture. I guess it made me aware of it. Yeah. I don't know if it made me opened me up to anything bigger than that though. So I do think it is maybe a little overrated as a documentary.
It's overrated then.
This one everyone will be underrated. I already know the
I don't know.
It's
people might say, because like, especially this comes out in a few more days. Maybe people are like, all right, enough of the fucking Tiger King.
That bubble already burst.
Yeah.
You got a point there.
Yeah.
I could still, though, just seeing this being 95% underrated.
Yeah. Okay. So overrated or underrated Zoom meetings.
Zoom meetings. I think in this day and age where we're at right now, anything video conference, video meeting, video call, video chat, I think they're all underrated. It's a pretty important tool for people to keep their sanity right now, to be able to communicate with people more than just a phone call or emails. And if you're an iPhone person, you got FaceTime, which is great. Or if you have a Mac, you have FaceTime. You can chat with people all types of ways with that. Get 50 people involved, or however, I don't know what the limit is on FaceTime. I think it's at least 20. But if you don't have that, there's tools like Zoom. And I haven't used Zoom for quite a while now, but from what I have heard, it is the best.
That's the reason I picked that is because it seems like that's what I've been hearing so much about it. Like it's what we started using at work, and it's like I just hear everyone say Zoom meeting this and Zoom meeting that, and I'm like, God, it seems like a while ago. I don't remember people would reference Skype.
I think from what I understand, Zoom just does it better than any of the other people.
Okay,
their apps are better. It works better. It's easier than Skype or like a go-to meeting or something like that.
Because I don't really hear people say Skype anymore.
Yeah, and I think Skype, because I think Microsoft owns Skype right now, and I don't know if I don't think it's like I don't think it's really adopted in the business world. As far as I've never heard of like anyone wanting to request a Skype meeting in business settings. Zoom just seems to be the go-to. So they must be doing something right that everyone wants to go with them. So yeah, I think Zoom meetings?
Yeah.
I think Zoom meetings are underrated.
Underrated on the Zoom meetings. And wanted to interrupt this session of overrated underrated for Massenomics ad. We do have the Lift decal sticker available for now on our site that we've started to sell a bunch of those.
And that is a big beefy decal.
That is a big beefy decal, and it's very durable. I had to test it out myself, and it's
the lift sticker it's just the word lift in huge white letters. It is about 8 inches by 5 inches, 6 inches. So it makes a statement, especially on windows, especially if your windows are tinted, really pops. And I don't say many things pop, but this pops.
We don't just say that things pop.
And it's starting to pop up in places, appear in different gyms on different pieces of equipment, and it looks good.
It does look
They're
good.
also saying it's the quickest way to make your vehicle triple in price. So if you're looking to up the resale value on your vehicle, you slap a lift sticker on it. Mm-hmm. Man, you're going to get a lot more money when it goes to market. That's for sure.
That is true. And as we're thinking about that, this is probably kind of breaking news too. I don't know if I've told you this, and I'm pretty sure I haven't told the podcast audience. I am considering selling my Buick.
Are you really?
I'm considering selling it. I haven't
like to get a newer Buick to replace it.
I don't know. I might just sell it. I might just sell the Buick. I might just get out of the Buick. I might just get out of the Buick game. I don't know.
Wow,
which would be pretty big. And if you've listened to the podcast before, it's come up, at least a handful of times. So that's big news.
That's very shocking.
Yeah.
The other day when I was watching The Sopranos, Tanner, I thought for sure Tony Soprano was driving a Buick, and I was recording it, and then it went by the screen, and then I saw it was a Lincoln. And I thought it seems kind of weird that this mafia gangster guy is driving a Buick.
Yeah.
I would think maybe like a Caddy.
Yes.
A Lincoln would make more sense. Then it went by, and yep, it was the Lincoln.
Yeah.
But what really got me thinking it was the Buick is because it was a big 4-door car. And of course, it was that gray color that every Buick in the world is, and that's what really got me going on it. Yeah, until I realized it was just a lowly Lincoln. No, none of that high quality Buick stuff.
He does drive a Chevy Tahoe a lot in there too.
Yeah, and then the Tahoe. Is it a Tahoe or a Suburban?
I think it's a Tahoe. It's a little bit shorter, I think, if I remember right. But it's funny because that's such an old-looking vehicle. But in the show,
it's so it looks so old, like an old shitty vehicle. But now that if someone was driving a Tahoe, you'd be like, oh fuck, they're driving an like $80,000 vehicle. Yeah,
right.
I can't imagine the reputation has changed that much. I'm assuming it was still a premium vehicle then.
I'm sure it was. It's just funny to watch because you're like, oh, why is he? Like the first time you're like, why is he driving that junky old Tahoe?
Yeah,
and then like, oh wait, that was brand new.
When I see those things now, they're completely rusted out and like just barely staying together.
Yep. So that also was like an ad for anyone that isn't interested in buying my Buick. You could maybe this is a platform you could make an open offer on that. You would just have to come to South Dakota to get it.
And you would do it before you put the lift sticker on it so that the value would stay a little lower for the buyer.
I would consider that. Also, I may just put the lift sticker on. So
pass the cost on to them.
Yeah. So that's pretty enticing for that's just DM for further details, I guess, on that.
You will have to keep us updated on that one.
I was considering
worried about it.
making one of those funny Craigslist posts, used vehicle posts about it. You know, like
just
where you
really
talk it up
over
that
the
it's really cool and
yeah, just so over the top
Yeah.
with the whole thing. And
if
then
I
at
get the
end,
time, I might try to do that.
yeah, it's marketing, man. You got
It
to.
is, and you know, for the $1,000 or $2,000 that I might get out of it, it's probably well worth my time spent.
I think so. You know, people leave us pretty creative podcast ads, and they don't get anything out of that.
That's true.
Or reviews, I should say,
Reviews,
not ads.
yeah.
Podcast reviews. Yeah.
Yes. But so I guess my original point there was buy a Lift vinyl decal if you would like to. We have those. Topic number 3, overrated or underrated. The Summer Olympics.
Summer Olympics. This is another one that's tough. Is it overrated or underrated? I still think I'm going to say underrated on this. I still think the Olympics are underrated. It's that one time every 4 years where you get to see
Or 5 in some cases.
or 5. You know, we got that leap year this year.
Yeah.
And where you get to see some sports that you don't normally see on TV. I'm personally not a big fan of swimming. Don't really care for that part, which takes like 2 weeks of the Olympics.
Yeah, right.
I respect what they're doing. It's just not that fun to watch. But yeah, you get to see a lot of really cool performances. It's fun. The world gets behind it. It's a nice break from everything else for everyone to rally behind and have some fun. So I think the Olympics are still underrated.
Just not this year.
Just not this. Actually, you could say that a 2020 Olympics is so underrated it's not happening.
Yeah. Well, that's just they are calling it the 2020 Olympics still. It's just going to take
Are they
place.
really?
Yeah, it's still going to be called from what I saw, it's still going to be called the 2020 Olympics.
So is
held
the
in
next one still
2021.
on for is the next one still on for 2024?
Yeah, I think that's what it would
yeah.
be. Yeah, I think that's the logic behind that.
The
is
schedule
that,
does
yeah,
not break.
Right, yeah. It's just there'll be a 5-year gap and then a 3-year gap.
Yeah. Yeah, that's okay.
Well,
As long as we still get Olympics.
I was going to say maybe at this rate 4 years from now the world will be so broken there's no way there will be an Olympics. That's probably the
4 years from now, hey, we
yeah.
got to make it 1 year from now first.
Yes, exactly. Topic number 4, and this was all by memory so far, so as long as I spit this one out, we did successfully make it through all 4 topics without me going to the cheat sheet. So that's a pretty big win. Topic number 4, overrated or underrated? Dazed and Confused, the movie.
Dazed and Confused, the movie, not the Led Zeppelin song.
Right.
All right. Led Zeppelin song, I'll say, is underrated. It's a great song.
This is a 2 for overrated, underrated.
This is a 2-fer. Yeah, I slipped one in there. That was part of my druthers this week as I added my own in. Dazed and Confused, the movie. I think that movie is underrated. It's always entertaining. It holds up really well, I feel. I guess I haven't watched it in a few years, but the last time I did watch it, I still feel like it holds up pretty well. It's got a banging soundtrack. It really captures that era of, I think it was in 1977 was the year that they did.
That sounds right.
Or was the year that Dazed and
yeah.
Confused. I just remember because my dad graduated high school in 76 and being like, oh yeah, that was like 1 year off of my dad's graduation. Like, that was that time. But yeah, Dazed and Confused. It's really, and there's quite a few people in it that
it has quite a cast. You know,
yeah, I'm just looking at, because I know I'm going to forget people, so I'm just looking up the cast right now. Okay, the movie came out in 93. I didn't know what year the movie actually came out. You have Jason London, who I just know him as the guy from Out Cold. If you don't watch the snowboarding movie Out Cold,
right.
He's the football player guy.
Yeah.
You got him, that Joey Lauren Adams, from Big Daddy, I believe. That's probably her biggest movie.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And Mallrats, Chasing Amy, those were slightly smaller movies, but Big Daddy, Mila Jovovich, Adam Goldberg, Matthew McConaughey,
Ben Affleck.
There's some people in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben Affleck. Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that it's as old as 93. Like
that's almost. Yeah, that's almost a 30-year-old movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had to do the math 6 times in my head there, because
that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
To say that that's almost a 30-year-old movie, that doesn't seem right.
God, that'd be like when I was a kid watching movies from watching movies from the 60s. Like,
how
that
about
seems
this?
so weird.
The time from when that movie came out to now is greater than the time from what that movie is portraying to when it was made.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it is. Okay. It's Last Day of School 1976. All right. So yeah, it was 1976. So, and that's the other funny thing is it seems so like it's such a retro piece,
but it wasn't that.
It didn't feel that way. Yeah. Maybe it didn't feel that way as much at the time,
but that would be like a movie coming out now that's portraying, because so we were saying 76, 80, so it was only 17 years in the past. So that'd be like doing a movie about something from 2003, which would be like, I don't know, that's not that much different.
Yeah, that was a very recent.
We didn't really have cell phones, but
yeah, like, come on, guys, it's a little early to be making a retro movie. We can at least wait 20 or 30 years.
Right. Huh. I feel like things have changed less in this 17 years than that 17 years. But that's probably not really true. That's just it's just because we're alive over this course.
I think things have changed. Yeah, I think things have actually changed significantly more.
Right.
It's just the fact that we're here for it. But God, that's one thing that starts to make you feel old, Tanner.
Yeah.
The time is flying by, man.
It is. That's we had a few months ago. We had someone that joined the gym, a new guy, and we have the boards. The boards for board pressing, and. Most common use for our 4-board is a tripod. So, but I was moving it for that reason, and I asked it was the new member's first day, and I asked him if he's ever seen Dazed and Confused while I was holding the paddle, and told him that we've got to go through the ass whipping ritual, but he hadn't seen the movie, so it was a little
so
lost.
It was just like, I'm just that weird old guy now.
Yeah, but then I kicked him out because he hadn't watched Dazed and Confused.
Yeah. So it's the right thing to do, I think, in that situation.
It's really the only thing I could do to save myself from making that joke that he didn't understand.
Yeah. He tried to embarrass you, so you must humiliate him.
You're
by
gone
kicking
now.
him out of the gym.
You are gone now.
It is his punishment.
And so what did you say on the movie?
I said Dazed and Confused is underrated.
Oh,
People should watch that movie.
I agree. It's good. I watched it a few months ago again, and it's still good. Still good. So that wraps up overrated, underrated. If that's what your druthers agree with.
My druthers are all about that.
Okay. We talked about the new Lift decal in the store. Otherwise, we're pretty stocked up on things. Actually, what we've been selling a shitload of everything is our flags and banners.
Yeah. It's like people are starting home gyms or something. I don't really know what that's about.
Yeah, we have been selling a shitload of flags and banners, and we've been reordering. We've got most of those products in inventory still, but we're reordering a couple things now. But those are definitely the hot ticket items. So if you're after a flag and banner, I would jump on it because we're doing our best to keep those restocked. But really, we have sold more flags and banners in a month than we have in, probably several previous months combined.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, without a doubt.
It was a good thing we had some of those around. Otherwise, we'd be out of all of them pretty easily. So flags and banners. We do have, we were just talking about it before, we've got several new t-shirt, not just in the works, but like where it's not going to be long here and we'll have those out. They're probably at least 3 new shirts that we'll have.
We wrapped up that first quarter. We got to come at you guys hard with this second quarter now. So don't think we're dragging our feet over here. We got some stuff in the works, and you guys are gonna like it.
Yeah, we've got like at least 3 brand new shirts, and maybe like 5 or 6 new things all together. So it'll be pretty cool, and some shirt color choices that you haven't necessarily seen from us before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not another yellow one this time. It'll be something you haven't seen yet.
Like black?
Yes, black. We're back in black. We heard a AC/DC song that inspired us.
Mm-hmm. Just hits you.
Yep. We'll also hear again from our sponsors from this episode if we're all interested in that sort of thing, and I know that I am. Today's episode was brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave absolutely no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-ink-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. If you do use Hybrid Performance Method, just make sure to use our discount code. Benefits you and us because you get to save 5% off any of those training and nutrition memberships. Our discount code is MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps, and use it at hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bar possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. I would also note on Texas Power Bars, they have a new bar that came out as like a bodybuilding bar that they partnered on with Branch
I've seen
Warren.
some posts on that.
Yeah, so I don't know all the specifics on that bar, but you could check it out. And then, of course, they've got their deadlift bars, squat bars, the power bar. They got them in the sear coat finishes, and a lot of different cool choices at texaspowerbars.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Our friends at Lifting Large have set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is the home of the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, and they're always in stock and ready to ship. When you go to Lifting Large and you purchase any Lifting Large branded products, make sure to use our discount code there, which is MASS20, and that will save you 20% on any of those Lifting Large branded products. And that's at liftinglarge.com. So thank you to our sponsors. And our other things, make sure to leave us podcast reviews on Apple Podcasts, the 5 stars. I think we got a couple of those to read, but maybe we'll save those for next episode.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay. You can like us on YouTube. Get in the race for first comment. Just as heated as ever. We haven't mentioned it for a couple of weeks, but
that just never dies.
The war rages on. Like us on Facebook. And then, Tommy, what's your Instagram handle?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
And you can find me at Tanner_Baird, but more importantly, follow Massenomics at Massenomics. We'll catch you next time for episode 210.
See ya.